Support. All right, it's 5:10, and we'll go ahead and call to order. Secretary Seeley, would you dispense first roll call, please?
President Seeley,
Here.
Vice President Hicken,
Here.
Treasurer McLeod, Parliamentarian Copeland, Senator Meek,
Here.
Senator Brewer, Senator Stefano, here, Senator Barrett, Senator Daniel, Senator McKinney, Senator Ivey, here, Senator Cox, Senator Simonini, here, Senator Floyd, here, Senator Minhanet,
Here.
Senator Bono, Senator Lumen,
Here.
Senator Smith, here, Senator Kaufman, here, Senator Hendricks, Senator Camarillo, Senator Johnson, Senator Williams, here, Senator Abernathy, Senator Cardenas, Senator Khan,
Here.
Senator Mendez,
Here.
Senator Mosley,
Here.
Senator Dare,
Here.
Senator Chambers,
Here.
Senator Cooper, Senator Jawad,
Here.
Senator Morrison,
Here.
Senator Cole,
Here.
Senator Pantene,
Here.
Senator Farouk,
Here.
Senator Nagaraj, here, Senator Adams, Senator Shanklin.
Thank you. Is there any discussion over last week's minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving last week's minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Are there any abstentions? That passes. We have 3 senators that were not here last week that have recently accepted their seats from elections. So would the 3 of you please stand? And that's all. And raise your right hand, and then you'll repeat after me. I, insert your name. Do solemnly swear that I shall faithfully represent the interests of the student body of the University of Texas at Tyler. I shall dutifully uphold and preserve the Constitution and bylaws of the student body while ardently executing the office of of the Student Government Association at the University of Texas at Tyler. Congratulations. And next, is there anyone here for open forum? All right. For those of you who don't know what open forum is, I don't know if I explained this last week. Either way, we have new senators. Open forum is a time slot that we give to any student, any community member to come and talk to us. They get 5 minutes. They can come and say kind of whatever they want and address the Senate. So if your friends are want to come talk to us, let them know that there is time in our agenda for them to do that. Also, we have next speaker's podium. I believe we have the Student Veterans Organization here tonight. Yes, sir. Come on up and.
So sorry I brought my. I hope he's not a bother. Just don't let him leave the room. Where do I need to stand?
Anywhere. Also,
Okay.
can we please make sure everyone that we speak up so the back of the room can hear us and the microphone as well. Thank you.
Okay. So basically, I'm here on behalf of the Student Veterans Org, and I'd like to think on behalf of all those student organizations on campus. I've come to address the issue of fundraising on campus, and as far as the Student Veterans Organization goes, and I don't know about other student organizations, I understand some sororities and fraternities operate out of a national chapter that has a 501c3, and they can raise funds that way, but we don't have anything like that. I don't Not that as far as I know, I don't know that any other student organizations on campus have that, unless they are a sorority or fraternity. And I've been in some discussion with Josh Neves about the school having something like that we could set up, and I think there's some hesitation as far as mobility issues or whatever it may be. Sorry. Hey, Sean, if you want to bring him up here. I can hold him while I do this. It's gonna cut down on
Do
distraction.
what you gotta do, Dad.
Here, I'm sorry. Okay. Everybody, this is Ryder. Say hi. Hi, Ryder. I meant him, but okay. First two. Okay, so where did I leave off? So yeah, as far as whatever the restrictions might be, I totally understand that. It's sort of unreasonable to ask that the school put themselves in any position that's going to be compromising in any way. And with that being said, I think it's also sort of unreasonable to ask a student, or at most there may be one member who's here for all 4 years of their college, to start a federally recognized corporation to raise funds with. So basically, before I go any further, I just sort of want to fill you guys in on why it's important that we have the ability to fundraise more than like $100 or something a semester. As far as the Student Veterans Organization goes, our national chapter, even though they don't provide 501c3, they do provide opportunity to attend what they call our NAPCON, National Convention. They hold it in either this coming year, it'll be in Orlando, Florida. Following year, it'll be in Disneyland in California, and then following year, it'll be in San Antonio. And what it is it's essentially something similar to the career fair that we had here, but with a much more robust, career fair style meet and greet with Fortune 500 companies. And it's opportunity to meet with these companies are looking to hire veterans. I don't know that there's another group on campus that has this type of opportunity available to them. But it does cost money to go. There's registration fees, there's hotel fees, there's travel, the cost of travel, as far as transportation, whether it's by bus or plane or whatever, what have you. So it's not cheap to send people. And I know full well that asking the school for funds is not always the best case to go about doing that. In the past, we've been lucky enough for the school to be able to sponsor like 1 to 2 students, which has been outstanding. I was able to be one of those 1 to 2 students. But with something like 400 veterans on campus, we should be sending 50, especially with the opportunity that's available. The way that I see it, the way that most of my fellow veterans see it, is there's an opportunity for employment outside of once we graduate, and this is an opportunity I don't think that we can pass up. If we have the ability to send more students, we should. Okay. So let's see. I hit on pretty much everything. Okay.
Stop running away.
So basically, I guess what I'm calling for is to start a discussion about. I'm sorry. So I guess guess I'm trying to start a discussion on what we can do outside of, I know that the SGAC, I'm not exactly certain about the terms, but that you guys do the whole up to $500 or $1,300 with joint. And we put in a request this semester. That's mostly just to help us raise awareness. I've run into so many veterans on campus and just started talking about SPO and MACCON, and nobody has any idea it's a thing, which is really sad considering how critically important it could be for their future career. So I think that there's opportunity. I think that there's something that the student body, or at least the student government, could get involved with to do to help student organizations raise more money. I mean, I'm not sure what other organizations are raising their funds for, if it's to donate to other charities or something. Kudos to that. I'm all for that too. But I don't know that. Does anybody know offhand what the typical student org raises in a semester? I mean, it's probably not much at all. So, does anybody have questions, or I can clarify anything? Or? Sir.
Yes, I'm part of this. I also charity. We work a lot of fundraising. Those money bring in. We don't sponsor. Express. Those are they bring money to organization, and they will take about 40, 30%. So that's a really good way for your money, and we're allowed to have 2 flaggers, 3 flaggers. So if you certify those things like one, and like bring up $600 one and, yeah, I think it's really
Yeah. So on that note, we're in contact with, I guess we're going to set something with the diner this semester, we're going to be doing all of those things, but when we're talking about at minimum $1,500 per student, that means in a semester I might be able to raise enough to send 1 more student. I might be able to raise enough to send 2 more students. If we were able to operate under a 501c3, if we were able to go get in contact with large corporations who are looking for tax write-offs, it would be much easier to raise funds, the types of funds that we would need to send more students. And on that note, I'm open to all options. I'm interested in talking with President Tidwell and whoever else we need to see if we can arrange some sort of grant situation or scholarship for that group to send more students in the future. But yeah, just as far as student groups being able to raise funds, I think it's something we should be looking into. Yes, ma'am.
Is it going solely towards sending conferences? And if it's not, then what?
That's entirely what it's for. I mean, as far as what we have it written for right now, obviously.
How many members are?
We currently have about 30 members on our roster. And again, so what we submitted for the request for funds was to send a mailer out. We've taken, in the past, we've done the newspaper, we put the TV ad on. It doesn't seem to have any effect. I guess last semester we ended up getting all of the student emails, and we sent out a mass mailer to everyone like, hey, we're the SBO, like come talk to us. We didn't get a single reply. So I mean, it's as far as getting people to be aware of what's going on. I wrote a letter, and that's what we intend to mail to everyone. on the assumption that, you get a letter with your name on it, and it's trying to tell you about an opportunity, you're more likely to at least read the letter instead of delete, you know what I mean? So that's sort of our plan it's more about like an awareness campaign. Even if there's 400 veterans that are on campus and 100 of them are at least interested, and maybe 50 of those people can spare the time to go, just looking at this from opportunity's sake for, the more people that graduate and have employment, the better our degrees, the more value our degrees hold. So.
I'm a little confused. What exactly are you asking of SGA?
So I guess essentially what I'm asking is that we start a discussion on how we can help student orgs raise money outside of. I mean, I feel like if a national chapter of a sorority can take on the liability of a 501c3 and find a way for their regional local organizations to run within that effectively, legally, then the school should be able to do something similar. I understand that there's, some liability issues with it. I'm not exactly certain what those are, but I feel like if there was going to be if we're going to have to jump through the hoops of setting up a 501c3 and ensuring that we're in compliance with everything through that, what's the difference between making sure that we're doing it through student life leadership? Yeah, question?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Say a lot. It seems like a lot of the issues that you're having with fundraising can be best solved by ways that it just seems like a lot of these issues would be solved by the scope of the state government, unless it's a specific issue that we can write a resolution around. So, like, just speaking hypothetically, if school was to set up a way for the SLL office to allow student organizations to probably teachers under whatever, however that would work, don't limit it at all. So, but then you could bring that information to us, and then on Judicial Affairs Committee, provide a resolution to the school to try to get support, try to get attention. I think that would be what that would look into.
Okay. So basically design a program to where we work out, just do some research, find out how the sororities do it, how the fraternities do it.
Yeah, just
basically submit something. Yeah, absolutely. I guess, so today really I'm just kind of trying to make everybody aware of the situation. I don't know that other organizations have that issue. You know what I mean? It may just be us, and because we're trying to send people to a specific event and it costs that much. So yeah, absolutely. I'm just gonna leave. So another marketing thing we're trying to do is give all of our officers business cards, and we did a little a handout that's got. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we have a Canvas page. If you're interested in joining SBO, you can take your student email and we can add you to our Canvas page. You can look at all of our organizational documents and check anything. So if anybody wants one, I know that I brought it up. I didn't realize how big SGA was, but I can leave something for you. I'll just leave these right here. Yeah, definitely. If you run into people and you find out that they're a veteran and you ask them about SBO and they've never heard of it, go on, please, or direct them to come see us in the VRC. That it's there. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
I believe that's it for speaker podium. So We're gonna go ahead and move on into officer reports. So this week I've had an unusually high number of meetings. It's a busy week for me, but a lot of them I hope after we had EB on Tuesday, that's when our little committee meets. We will, hopefully a lot of those will turn into agenda items for next week. So I think next week's agenda will probably be semi-full and pretty exciting. I mean, I think it is, but we've got to work all that out. And so I don't want to spoil them yet. And that will, let me move over to Vice President.
So what do we see about last I being launched. Do that. Getting program control was there, just feedback, and we already set a date for the conference, so hopefully you all got a chance to take that survey back. And it was amazing. But overall, it sounded like faculty felt that it went. And Josh gave about student engagement and about and that's pretty much it. And then still working our training there, ready to go. And
Secretary Seeley.
Guys, I mean, so working on getting back into the Instagram, Twitter. They're not very helpful at all. Might possibly just, but I'm trying not to do that. Haven't really had anything on my plate this week. Just had some.
Treasurer McClung.
Hey, last vote event was very successful. Money out there. And I couldn't take it together next year. And also this year, finally, our local passion and there. And I think most of the time, back in the meeting.
Chairman Chan Copeland.
So this past week, I've been mostly focusing on getting the Robert's Rules of Order training that's going to be happening this Saturday on, so please be there for all the new senators and even some of the older senators. Also this past week, I've been working on the student body-wide email, the resolution that we'll hopefully be presenting sometime in the near future. And then I just want to remind everyone that if anyone has senator projects or an idea or is just looking for a problem that needs to be fixed, please come to me. We'll help you out there.
Thank you. And so we'll move on into student voice reports. Up first is the College of Education and Psychology.
I'm here, so how are you?
yeah. So we had our orientation for the education. So a lot of the advisors, that, but a lot of the women, projectors and classmates aren't really as they should. So I was in contact to
Josh, is there an IT person that would be best?
it's like the projector, class.
Okay. Miss Sam, I'll get with you about some contact info for those. I'm not totally sure. Very sorry. Is there anything else from education and psychology? All right, thank you. Patriot Village is up next.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Chris Armstrong. Unfortunately, I do not have anything prepared this week, but over this weekend, I plan on creating a straw poll or some other survey, like third-party survey, and giving the link to that to the RAs to disperse to all of the students or residents at Patriot Village, and having them provide their, or just whatever they need help with, etc.
It's a great idea. The university in general uses Qualtrics, so if you want to try and get with one of us to make that survey, we can definitely help you out, or you can make it through some, whatever you want.
Okay.
So, thank you for that. That's very insightful. Great ideas. Lastly, we have Liberty Landing.
So, to start with, Aubrey Wright, is, first, they are in the works, hopefully better, so get a space for students to be able to share any issues with living I think the big thing that we're towards, or I'm looking towards for students living in the Landing is and having a way to walk from the so I know.
Awesome. I'm excited for you guys to have an update during your follow-ups next week, which is next. So this is kind of a follow-up. It's an update from what you talked about last week, and we'll start with our consensus.
We had so I reached out to very prompt, very prompt. So if anyone else had this problem, nothing is fixed. Or like that.
Thank you. And next is Nursing and Health Sciences.
That last week I talked to Mary Cooper, their nursing March for those students to decide what occupation they would like to fill. She also said she was unaware of the denial letters being sent out, so unsure how those letters were sent. So I'm assuming.
Okay, that's great. And our last group was the College of Engineering and Computer Science.
So last week, I reported the elevator issues, and I couldn't get in contact with Kraus because I was a bit busy right now. But the complaint was Dr. Davis at the department told me about the elevator issues. So I got up with him, professor, and like it was a one-time issue. So if it's persistent, I will.
So before we move on, I know there's still some new senators who haven't done a student voice report, and hopefully you got an idea of what that is. It's just like an opportunity for you to talk specifically about what's going on in your area, what your constituency is. Because a lot of times in our new business or in other next week to kind of update us on how it's going, or if you need further guidance on how to handle the issue. And so after follow-ups, we'll move on to committee reports and start with student life.
We didn't meet this week. We'll meet next week.
Communications.
Okay. So this morning we kind of spitballed ideas back about the event that we could do right before finals week. I know that that's cool. So it'd be really great if we could Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But like an indoor tailgating thing or like an indoor party of some sorts, because it's in summer. But it's like super baby stages. So
SGAC.
So we met and dollars in education. So,
Rules committee / student affairs.
So we meet every Tuesday at 1. So if you don't have a committee, please come by. On the rules committee side, we focused on getting the training done because the senators that are in the rules committee will be in charge of the Robert's Rules of Order training on Saturday. So we made sure that everything was clear and done on that side. And then we were also on the student affairs side, just kind of getting some ideas down on some possible resolutions that will come up.
And finally, our sidewalk committee.
This is the new committee. If you don't know, it's just starting up. We have a meeting after this meeting, so if you want to stay in the sidewalk committee, that's great.
Thank you. And so next on our agenda is old business. Is there any old business? Oh, you looked like you were about to say something. Sorry. So old business going once, twice. All right, moving on. Is there any new business? I see. Treasurer McClellan.
The motion but rebrand also provide a standard.
Second.
Yeah, that is.
Here.
Okay, I want to make sure I phrase this right, so that's very nice. Okay, it's been motioned and seconded to draft a resolution regarding inadequate student input concerning rebranding and provide a standard for future student input. Treasurer McLeod, you have the floor.
So most definitely weren't here last semester, but the university branding our logo right now. And so during this time, they sought out the students, faculty, and staff, and alumni. But this week, especially discussed this, and we had some concerns regarding whether or not they took our concerns. So this resolution provides transparency that each big change that affects the administration and student body learning, branding, so vision.
Parliamentarian Clayton.
So as you said, the student affairs will be, if this goes through, we'll be discussing it and possibly writing up this resolution. So because we discussed it yesterday morning and I had my committee meeting Tuesday, I just want to get some ideas how the conversation will go. And so it seems like people have been noticing it, not just in student government, but just all around campus, how things happen. The focus groups, which were around rebranding, were kind of an afterthought and just a formality, not actually taking our concerns into considerations. We see this with one with the rebranding and the new T. Another one could even be Swoop. And then one recently that could have happened was the website change, which was brought before faculty senate, but not really before student government or stuff like that. So this resolution will have two parts to it. One would be focusing on the issues or like a list of grievances concerning the rebranding process. And then the other part will be creating a standard on how like student issues or student-wide issues should be brought before like student government or even just made available for people to discuss from the university.
Senator Morrison.
Just like exploring suggestions now. Okay. So I mean, I think that would be a good start to require before any major change, which we can lay out categories and changes that they come the university send a representative to SGA and give us a few weeks notice to students, so that if students want to be on the front lines of the information as it's coming in universities about changes, then they should be able to be here to hear a presentation about it. Because I remember us getting because we had to approve the change in tuition, but we didn't really have anything about the logo change before it was even designed and announced, and we certainly didn't have anything about our mascot change. So I think that it would be a good start to require the university to come present that to the persons.
Their idea.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I was like, that I fully
Senator Hendricks.
Personal opinion, part for sure. But as far as the first part, yeah, sure, we should certainly hurt. But I didn't.
Senator Mosley.
This will be for future endeavors. We would prefer, especially on big issues like mascot changes and school logos and things like that. We were kind of left out of the loop, and we need to be heard because essentially it's our school.
Senator Floyd.
And kind of building on it, it's not just necessarily the senators like us who are upset about it. There are other students who are also upset about the various things, like especially mascot change, like the Twitter, like bring back swoop. I don't know, I honestly don't know who's running that, but clearly students are upset over it, and they felt they weren't heard. So this is important.
I think it's
Senator Cunningham.
I noticed that there was a debate in language about getting the message out to people. I think it might be wise maybe to information that invites non-government members on it, perhaps representatives from communities or maybe just to ensure that you have a wider student body.
Senator Mosley.
I had a thought, but I think part of what I was getting at with the deal about getting information out to students with as part of our resolution, we should give the university like a timetable for when we need to have the information before. So like just hypothetically, they should let us know about X change and when they want to present 2 weeks, so that we can have the opportunity to utilize our various channels of communication out to the students, like through our social media and then Jimmy mentioned.
Alan Jenkins.
I move to table the resolution until next week.
Second.
Been motion and seconded to table the original motion until next week.
So we don't really have a lot of information right now, and we're all kind of repeating the same things. So I would like to possibly get my committee together, propose like a draft resolution, bring it to y'all next week. We'll look at it, we can get ideas down, and then if we still want to move forward with it, then we can vote then, and we'll just get our own.
Is there any more discussion over the point of the table?
Just point or just point of clarification. These are the original amendments to have to draft it, and it seems to be the general consensus that this is good idea, but don't think whether it's this period. I think we should move forward with the draft. So
as part of the original language to send subsequent draft to the administration, because if not, then we can approve the draft.
The original motion is to draft. Okay, so is there any other discussion? So we're gonna move into voting over the motion to table the original motion, which is the draft resolution. Are we all clear about what's left? Okay, I'm just checking. I know sometimes this can get confusing. So all those in favor of tabling the original motion to draft the resolution until next week, please say aye. All those opposed, say nay.
Aye.
Are there any abstentions? That motion has failed, so you're back in the discussion phase of the original motion, which is to draft. So is there any other discussion over the original motion? Okay, so we're going to vote now on the original motion. All those in favor of drafting a resolution regarding inadequate student input concerning rebranding and provide a standard for future student input, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there, all opposed, please say nay. And are there any abstentions? All right, and so that passes. Hopefully we'll see that next week. Is there any other new business? Oh,
Yeah,
Senator Derek.
I don't really know who to bring this to, but it's been brought to my attention that various bathrooms around campus are being restocked of feminine products, and that's become a problem to some people. So,
Oh, okay. So you're trying to make a motion, or is this more of like an information?
I was just trying to get some information about, like,
Okay,
there's someone I should talk to.
yes. Yeah. About that. It's generally facilities or service solutions. Yes. Thank you.
So for future reference, if you do have like a problem, like the bathroom, just raise your hand during the student voice reports. It's open to anyone, not just people on the list.
Thank you for that. Any other new business? All right, hearing none. Advisor comments?
Those who don't know me, my name is Josh Lee, Director of Student Engagement. Primary. Here's the other section. I try my best to stay out of all. Going off the bat, another option. Question how in this meeting. This is what it does. But thinking about what has been done is that problem. Our job is as far as the one I'm discussing, all organizations representative of students I think, based on last thing this year.
Are there any announcements?
Okay, so on your Canvas module, there's a committees quiz. And so for you new senators, in addition to coming to GA, you have to attend one committee per week. And so we have 5 to choose from, which is student life, Katie holds it, I hold communication, Jacob holds SBC, John does rules and affairs, and then Macy Ann Williams does sidewalk committee. So go on there and tell us which one you are attending because there's for you. So you will get a notice if he's absent. Also, if you want cards, you have to, but I put them on the screen.
Another quickish announcement. Saturday is your senator training. This is a day for you to learn about what is SGA, how do we run, what can you get out of this, what can you put into it, what can you put student body. There's been a lot of work from Katie and Jacob and the rest of this executive board getting that ready. Sadly, myself and Secretary Seeley won't be there due to our commitments with the tennis team. And but y'all are in extremely capable hands, and it's going to be a great day. And y'all have the opportunity to also give back to our campus in a cleanup event that afternoon, and get to know each other better and sort of gel and maybe become like a big team. And I'm really excited to hear about how great that goes next week. Any other announcements? Secretary Seeley, please dispense second roll call.
President Seeley, here. Vice President Hicken, here. Treasurer McLeod, here. Parliamentarian Copeland, here. Senator Meek, here. Senator Brewer, here. Senator Stabenow, here. I say it right. Stabenow. Stabenow? Oh, that's hard. Okay. Senator Fair, here. Senator Cunahan, here. Senator Armstrong,
Here.
Senator Daniel, here. Senator McKinney, Senator Ivey, here. Senator Cox, Senator here. Senator Floyd, here. Senator Mendenhall,
Here.
Senator Cano, Senator Lumen, Senator Smith, Senator Kaufman, here. Senator Hendrick, Senator Camarillo, Senator Johnson, Senator Williams, here. Senator Abernathy, Senator Cardenas, Senator Khan, Senator Mendez,
Here.
Senator Mosley,
Here.
Senator Darren,
Here.
Senator Chambers,
Here.
Senator Cooper, Senator Jawad,
Here.
Senator Morrison,
Here.
Senator Cole,
Here.
Senator Fancy,
Here.
Senator Farouk,
Here.
Senator Nagarajan, Senator Schenkel.
Here.
I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn. Claire Morrison.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion segment to adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Are there any abstentions? Adjourn.